Hey, I'm going to be showing off Super Dungeon Tactics and do a full level gameplay. So start to finish, just see how we fare. I've got most of my party selected here, but I've got one final hero that I'm going to build out just to kind of show that capability. First thing I'm going to do with my fighter is give him a class item. This is going to kind of start to specialize him in one of two paths. He can use either the green or the yellow. Those are going to give him different abilities. So if I look at this one, I can see this one might be a little bit more defensive, or this one's going to be a little bit more aggressive that I can do. Followed by that, I'm going to pick my weapon. I've got two options for axes in this case, as well as two crossbow options. So I'm going to stick with the axe. I've already got a couple range characters, so I don't really need another one. This first one has a bigger range of area it's going to hit, where this one is going to give me a little bit stronger attack but limited range. So I'm going to go with that one. It's fairly close quarters on this level. And now I've got to pick out my armor. I'm going to keep him pretty standard and just give him the basic armor. You can see here that these symbols are starting to change, and that's going to be reflective on my die down here. So I can see how my character is being built out. The gear is going to affect how that dice is built. If you've seen some of the other videos, basically these dice get rolled every round and you assign them to your heroes. And some of the console, the enemies have them as well. And it kind of alters your character. So this is kind of your influence on the battlefield as you build out your equipment. But everything is custom. I'm going to go ahead and put the gauntlets on to give them extra blocks. Again, the dice are going to change, and any character can use those, use that particular dice. So it's not just him. It's kind of what he's helping the party with. So my quest is selected, my heroes are all picked, and so now I can get started. And really quickly here, you can see I can take a look at the battlefield. This is a fairly small, contained confrontation here. My initiative system is across the top. I got hero initiatives followed by enemies. Here's the dice that we were building out and how they ended up. So I've got the first two initiatives, so I'm going to really want to be thinking about the fact that two of my heroes are going to be kind of sticking their neck out there to see if they can do some attacks, but also they might take a lot of damage, so I've got to watch that. Because of that, I'm going to go ahead and give my questing knight a defensive special. That's going to basically be a response. So if he gets hit, he's going to try and hit them back as well. He's fairly armored, so he should be okay. And I'm going to also follow that up with my other kind of tank character and give him a block. The way blocks work is every attack that comes in, he's going to reduce that damage by 1. And finally, we'll give the mage a boost to her standard attack. And then I have to choose a skull. Skulls are interesting in that they help the enemy, but they almost always are going to hurt a hero. In his case, he's one that actually doesn't get hurt, so it just makes him kind of a standard setup. On a hero turn, any hero can go that has not already gone, so I can kind of check my ranges of what my characters can do. Looks like he can get out there, so I probably will do that just because fairly tanky character, so he should be able to take a decent amount of damage. And we've got our second one. So with this character, he has a lance attack, which is going to attack all 3 squares in a certain direction. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on this side so I can basically clear out some of these characters, the enemies that are coming in. The less attacks you take, obviously the less damage, so that's kind of a key component. enemies are all activating. They're going to activate in squads, which is basically going to mean their squad leader, which is the Iron Scales here, he goes first and then everyone follows suit. So as those squads change, which they can, you have to watch out that they don't get too powerful, and it can get pretty deadly. Mage is going to come in and do some good damage. She's going to hit this whole area, and normally it wouldn't be that much damage, but she has that boost, that star there, so she actually takes out all of those characters. So her aggro is up to 5, which is pretty significant. And then the Warden's going to come in, and he's great for taking out an Iron Scales or a character that has a lot of armor, because he's got a piercing shot, so all of his damage is going to go directly to their hit points instead of being soaked up by armor. Armor is unique in this in that it resets every round, and so as you play through, if you got a character like this, typically you're going to want to concentrate all your attacks on him, but with the case of the Warden, you don't necessarily have to do that. All right, so we got another assignment here. This one's a very neutral kind of role that happened. We've got a lot of different things to choose from. It's a little bit more attack focused because we've got 2 red specials, which are typically offensive. We've got 2 bonuses to our standard attacks. We have a blue passive special, and we also have a block. So it's a good mix. So it just means I'm going to pick characters, a couple characters that are more offensive and a couple of more defensive. It looks like they're going to get at least one of the dice in here, so I'm not sure which one they're going to choose, but I've got to kind of prepare for that. So they're starting to come across the bridge. I'm going to look here, and I've got Psych up. That's probably a pretty good one to go for with my, my Warden, because he's probably going to get hit. And so that's going to give him a little bit of a boost, but also give him some protection in case Iron Scales decides to take a chunk out of him. I've got one more in here. I think what I'll do is boost my Lance attack. So that means everything that he hits is going to take extra damage, which is pretty effective. So they went ahead and took, enemy took one of the dice. And so now I've got to finish this off. I'm going to go ahead. I like that combination of the attack bonus onto the mage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I've got 2 options left. I can either boost his defense or give him the bull rush here. I'm going to boost his defense. I want to keep him around for a little bit longer. So while these guys are active and haven't moved yet, I'm going to go ahead and activate my knight. And in this case, I'm choosing to attack first before I move, which is really nice because now I can reposition him to get ready for an additional attack the next round. Mage, we're going to do very similar to what we did before. So she's going to do some massive damage over here. I've got to watch it because she's going to take all the enemy aggression. Questing Knight's armor soaked up all that damage, so it did pretty well. We can go ahead and do our attack on this guy. Notice it did 4 damage this time because of that blue special, beefed him up a little bit. And then he's going to come over here and just kind of protect the mage from, that close range. And then follow up over here. The fighter, again, can hit all 3 squares. So he's going to go ahead and do that. And we're off to the races on this one. Really, really good setup in this case against the types of enemies we had. This round would be definitely a recover round. If we weren't doing so well, I'd be really excited about that because of all the healing. But in this case, we probably don't need it too much because we're going to finish these guys off pretty quickly. So we've got 2 health here. So we definitely, he's going to do all of his damage, which is 3 on there. So we probably will be okay by basically not worrying about the iron scales, because he's going to die the first chance we get. So I'm going to go over here and give the Questing Knight just a little bit more damage. And we'll go ahead and give the Mage her Fireball. And then we can heal up our remaining characters here. Okay, so Warden's going to come in. Again, he's going to attack first. And then we'll move him out of the way. Mage takes a little bit of damage. She's not doing so well, but I think we'll be okay. I was hoping to get that last bit there, but it looks like we might have to do something a little bit different here. So we'll check this out. So I'm going to go ahead and do my attack on him. And we'll move him over there. So we've got 2 health there, and basically 3 health here. So let's take a look at our Fireball. Hit him, that's 4 damage, and he's out of there. So the Mage got to finish off that. And then finally, with the Lance, we'll go in here and do that, and heroes are victorious. So this was a fairly small map, but I just wanted to show kind of a full gameplay session of what happens, in the game and how it works. We'll do some larger sessions with some spawn points and that kind of thing as we go on. So those will be coming in the future weeks, but should give you a good overall. Thank you very much.